Welcome to our journey through time, where myths echo truths and heroes live in our imagination. Today we delve into the story of Achilles, a name that resonates through the ages as the unforgettable Greek hero. But who was Achilles? Was he just a character in a story, or does his legend hold deeper meanings about heroism and humanity? Let's unravel the tale of this legendary warrior and see what lies beneath the surface of his myth. Our tale unfolds with a prophecy, foretelling the fate of Achilles, the child of the mortal Peleus and the divine sea nymph Thetis. This prophecy offered a stark choice: a long but unremarkable life, or a brief existence marked by glory and heroism. Concerned for her son's future, Thetis endeavored to render him invulnerable. She immersed Achilles in the mystical waters of the river Styx, but in her grasp, his heel remained untouched, thus sowing the seeds of his soul vulnerability, a detail that later inspired the term Achilles' heel, symbolizing a critical weakness. Despite this protective ritual, Achilles grew up unaware of his hidden frailty. Under the guidance of Chiron, a wise centaur known for his knowledge and skill, Achilles became well-versed in both martial and peaceful pursuits. His training honed not only his combat abilities, but also instilled in him a sense of honor and wisdom. The young Achilles blossomed into a figure of immense strength, skill, and bravery, qualities that predestined him for a remarkable path. Achilles' early years at the court of his father, King Peleus, were marked by a blend of royal privilege and rigorous discipline. He was not just another prince, but a child of unique heritage, born of a mortal father and a goddess mother. This lineage bestowed upon him a blend of human vulnerabilities and divine gifts, shaping his persona in profound ways. Thetis, ever protective of her son, was a constant presence in his life. Her divine nature imbued Achilles with a sense of otherworldliness, often isolating him from his peers. Yet her love was a double-edged sword. It was her divine intervention that led to his invulnerability but also to his ultimate weakness. Achilles' relationship with his mother was complex, filled with deep affection, but also a foreboding sense of the destiny that she had unwittingly charted for him. In his formative years, Achilles' interaction with other mythological figures played a crucial role in shaping his character. His education under Chiron, the wisest of the centaurs, was not limited to martial skills. Chiron, a being of knowledge and kindness, also taught Achilles about medicine, music, and the arts. These lessons provided Achilles with a well-rounded education, equipping him with the wisdom and empathy that complemented his physical prowess. Achilles' time with Chiron also exposed him to various characters from the mythological world. He met heroes and demigods, each contributing to his understanding of the world and his role in it. These interactions were instrumental in developing his sense of identity and purpose. As Achilles grew into a young man, his reputation as a warrior of unparalleled skill began to eclipse even the fame of his divine heritage. Stories of his exploits in hunting and combat spread across the land, reaching distant kingdoms and stirring the imaginations of people far and wide. His character, an intricate tapestry woven from divine threads and human experiences, resonated deeply with those who heard of him. Yet, despite his growing fame and the adulation he received, Achilles remained unaware of the full extent of the prophecy that loomed over his life. He stood at a crossroads where myth intersected with history, his life becoming a narrative rich with divine interventions, heroic deeds, and human choices. The Trojan War, a legendary conflict that raged for 10 years, became the dramatic stage for the unfolding of Achilles' famed narrative. Achilles, embodying martial excellence and honor, joined the Greek forces driven by a sense of duty and a thirst for glory. His prowess on the battlefield was unparalleled, his presence alone enough to strike fear into the hearts of his enemies and inspire awe among his allies. Achilles' combat style was a blend of raw power and graceful agility, making him an unstoppable force in battle. His strategy often involved direct aggressive tactics, relying on his exceptional strength and speed. He was known for charging into enemy lines with such ferocity that it would break the morale of the opposing forces. His skill with both spear and sword was legendary, and his shield, crafted by the god Hephaestus, was as much a weapon as it was a defense. The relationship between Achilles and Agamemnon, the commander of the Greek forces, was complex and fraught with tension. Agamemnon's authority and desire for control clashed with Achilles' pride and sense of honor. This tension came to a head over the fate of Briseis, a captive maiden claimed by Achilles but taken by Agamemnon. The quarrel that ensued led to Achilles withdrawing from the battle, a decision that drastically shifted the war's dynamics. The bond Achilles shared with Patroclus, his closest companion, was one of deep brotherhood and mutual respect. Patroclus's understanding and empathy often served as a counterbalance to Achilles' fiery nature. In contrast, Achilles' relationship with Briseis, though initially marked by the dynamics of conqueror and captive, evolved into one of mutual care and respect, adding a more personal and emotional layer to Achilles' character. The war saw many battles where Achilles' valor and skill were on full display. In one notable battle, he single-handedly turned the tide, driving the Trojans back to the walls of their city. His encounters with various Trojan heroes further cemented his reputation as a peerless warrior. However, the defining moment in Achilles' tale during the Trojan War was the death of Patroclus. Patroclus, in an attempt to rally the Greeks in Achilles' absence, donned Achilles' armor and entered the fray. His death at the hands of Hector, the Trojan prince, was a devastating blow to Achilles. It plunged him into a deep well of grief, transforming his anguish into a dark, unstoppable rage. When Achilles returned to battle, driven by a desire for vengeance, his ferocity knew no bounds. The duel between Achilles and Hector is one of the most iconic moments in mythology. It was not just a clash of warriors, but a convergence of fate, honor, and vengeance. The battle was intense and emotionally charged, ending with Achilles emerging victorious but deeply scarred by the loss of his friend. Achilles, the greatest warrior of the Greeks in the Trojan War, met his end in a sudden and unexpected manner. Legend has it that during the final stages of the war, Achilles, who had been instrumental in many Greek victories, was struck down. The perpetrator was Paris, the Trojan prince. Not known for his prowess in battle, Paris was an unlikely candidate to bring down such a formidable warrior. On that fateful day, the battlefield was a scene of chaos and carnage, typical of the long and brutal Trojan War. Amidst this, Achilles was a force to be reckoned with, his armor shining and his skills unmatched, striking fear in the hearts of his enemies. However, despite his might and battle-hardened experience, Achilles had a vulnerability: his heel. According to myth, when Achilles was a baby, his mother, Thetis, dipped him in the river Styx to make him invincible. However, she held him by his heel, leaving that single spot unprotected. This small unguarded area became the focus of his downfall. Paris, with the assistance of the god Apollo, took advantage of this weakness. He notched an arrow into his bow, a weapon he was more comfortable with compared to the swords and spears of close combat. Guided by Apollo, Paris released the arrow. It soared across the battlefield with lethal precision, striking Achilles directly in his heel. The impact of the arrow was both physically and symbolically devastating. Achilles, the hero who had seemed invincible, suddenly faltered and fell, overwhelmed by the unexpected strike to his only vulnerable spot. His fall was not just the end of a warrior, but a pivotal moment in the Trojan War. The death of Achilles, caused by a single arrow to his heel, became a legendary story, often cited as a powerful reminder of the vulnerability and mortality even the mightiest heroes face. Even millennia after his time, Achilles remains a symbol of the hero at the pinnacle of glory and tragedy. His story has transcended the confines of ancient texts, influencing literature, art, and the broader cultural understanding of heroism. Achilles represents the archetypal tragic hero, his tale resonating with themes of pride, loyalty, and the human condition. But what can we, in the modern world, learn from Achilles? Perhaps it is the understanding that every hero is human, with strengths and weaknesses, triumphs and sorrows. Achilles' story invites us to ponder the nature of heroism and the timeless human quest for meaning and honor.